What is going on, lads, and welcome to the bargains of the century. We are going to be taking a look at some of the absolute steals that have happened in the Premier League and some of it in before the Premier League in the old Division 1 as well, because basically that is where all of my knowledge lies, and that is where most of your guys' knowledge who popped comments down in the comment section lies. So we are just sticking to the BPL, but if you guys do know any bargains that are better than these ones that have come in other leagues, then do pop them down in the comment section. I am always interested to see what you guys have got to say. As well, lads, some of these aren't quite bargain buys on FIFA, and some of them will cost you quite a few coins. So if you do want to go and get some, there's a link down in the description to FIFAcoinstoday.com. They are ridiculously cheap, and the discount code AJ3 will get you an extra 10% off, a whopping 10%. But even better than that, if you guys order with them for the first time within the next few days, they are running a special promotion where you'll get £10 off your first order, which is absolutely crazy. So go and get yourself some ridiculously cheap coins. Their link is down in the description. And we're just going to crack on and get into this squad. And if you guys do enjoy this, make sure you smash that like button. You guys suggested a lot of these players. We kind of built this squad together. So I was thinking we could maybe do the biggest flops in history, or basically the biggest flops ever, whatever you want to call it, for the next one of these. So any players you've got that you can think of that were massively hyped up and ended up just being bang average or absolutely shite, pop them down in the comment section. I am, for example, thinking Bojan, hyped up to be the next Lionel Messi, and now he's doing it on a cold, rainy night in Stoke, so not really living up to the hype there. But let's get on and start taking a look at these players. And up first in goal, we are going to have to be really naughty again. You guys don't seem to mind me using these concept squads. A couple of you said, why don't I use the team? And it's more because it's about the facts and the stats and the fun facts and the aspects of it and all that good stuff and the stories behind the players, rather than whether the team plays well. So we are going to have to go over to a concept squad and pop in a player who, even if we bought them, we wouldn't be able to have because he's not in the game yet, because it is Peter Schmeichel. Now, you guys may know this guy, you may not, depend on how old you are, you might not have even seen him play, but he was basically the best goalkeeper ever. Just period. He's just absolutely fucking unreal. A few people come close to him, like Oliver Kahn was absolutely unreal, Buffon in his time, but most people will agree that Peter Schmeichel is the best goalkeeper that has ever played football. And you will not believe this, but Man United bought him for £500,000. It was quite a while ago, but even then, Alex Ferguson described it as the biggest bargain ever, and fucking hell was he right. The best goalkeeper ever for £500,000. That is absolutely crazy. In front of him, we have got Vincent Kompany, who cost Manchester City £7 million. Now, for basically the best centre-back in the Premier League, the best centre-back, one of the best centre-backs in the world, that is an absolute steal. A couple of you guys suggested Phil Jagielka, who is, I think Everton paid like $3 million for him and is an extremely solid centre-back, but $7 million for by far the best centre-back in the BPL in the past few years is just ridiculous and so cheap. The same goes for the guy next to him as well. Costing, I think none of these transfer figures are exact. So, for example, some people reported companies at 7, some reported it as 6. I can't say exactly for sure what they are. Different websites report different things, and the Wikipedia says one thing and another, Sky Sports say another thing, because a lot of them are undisclosed. It's kind of just in the region of. So companies was in the region of 6 or 7 million, and then Nemanja Vidic was in the region of, again, £7 million. He was, before Kompany, was the best centre-back in the BPL, and he was at one point the best centre-back in the world. He was absolutely incredible. Not quite as good anymore, but back in them FIFA 12 days, he was like a 90 rated, 89 rated centre-back, and he was absolutely unstoppable, and they picked him up again for £7 million. Over at left-back, we have got Azpilicueta, who once again was picked up for £7 million. So there's a bit of a theme here, and I think managers, if you're going to be buying players, maybe stick a £7 million bid in for them, because they're likely going to turn into someone absolutely fucking awesome. This guy, I think, do they call him Dave at Chelsea, or David Luiz used to call him Dave because he couldn't pronounce his name. £7 million again, they picked him up, 22 years old, one of the best left backs in the BPL. Again, I could have put Baines there, he only cost Everton, I think, 5 or 6, and he's, again, probably the best left, he is the best left back in the BPL. But a lot of you guys would accuse me of being biased in the other one, so I've decided to go for only one Everton player in this whole squad. Sorry, 2 Everton players, 1 current Everton player and 1 who's moved on. The first one is over at right back, who is Seamus Coleman, who none of you guys can argue with this. He cost £60,000. Apparently the deal, or the rumour around Merseyside goes, that Everton went to Sligo Rovers and said, we will give you £60,000 for Seamus Coleman. And Sligo were like, oh, dithering on it. So Everton said, we'll give you £60,000 and we'll buy your kit for next year. And they said yes, and that is what we got Seamus Coleman for. It's crazy, I know, but that is apparently what the rumour was. And apparently the transfer fee has risen to 150 grand, but even still, 150 grand for. You guys argue with me about this all the time. Zabaleta and Seamus Coleman are the two best right backs in the BPL, in my personal opinion, and to pay 150 grand for him is just fucking stupid. Centre mid, we have got Patrick Vieira, who, again, we're going to have to use a legend card, a concept card for this legend, because he costs a fucking fortune on this game. But in real life, he actually only cost Arsenal 3.5 million. And the thing that really touches me with this one and makes me think is the fact that for the past 5 years, for all I can remember, all people say about Arsenal is they could win the league if they had Patrick Vieira. All they need is that solid midfield man. They need Patrick Vieira, Patrick Vieira, Patrick Vieira. He was basically the midfield maestro or dominating midfielder that Arsenal need, that loads of teams need, and he only cost them 3.5 million. It's unreal. He was, of course, part of the Invincibles. He was that rock in the centre of midfield, and to only cost 3.5 million, half the price of 7 million, you might think. So maybe he should be half as good as the others. Maybe if you pay in denominations of 7, you're going to get yourself some absolutely awesome players, because the same thing will be going for a couple more of our players as well. But first up, we have got Raheem Sterling at left midfield. 600 grand was the initial transfer fee for this guy from Liverpool. He's now one of England's best young stars. 19, I think he is. Him, Ross Barkley, John Stones, Sturridge, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jordan Henderson. I'm sure I'm forgetting some people as well, like Klein and all them. Luke Shaw, of course. These are all like the future of England, and the fact that basically him and Barkley are the two best, in my opinion, nearly cost £600,000 is just unbelievable and just mind-blowing. Apparently the fee can rise to 5 million, depends on how often he plays for Liverpool, but even still, that is a fucking steal in my opinion. Over at right midfield, we've got another 7 million job. It is Gareth Bale, who Spurs bought for £7 million and then sold on for £80 million. So irrelevant of whether he was good or not, that is some fucking pro trading from them right there. Absolutely incredible. He was, of course, he basically carried them to the Champions League. He was basically the best player in the league, and he is now the most expensive footballer. Like I said, some of these fees aren't exact, and it's either him or Cristiano Ronaldo. It depends on which one you believe, whether you believe Spurs or Real when they quoted the fee, as to whether he is the most expensive footballer ever. Coming in at centre attacking mid, we have got Tim Cahill. Of course, now plays for New York Red Bulls, but this was an absolute steal by Everton to pick this guy up. We picked him for £1.5 million from Millwall, and he was one of the players basically carried us up some points. He was basically just David Moyes locked the defence down and then crossed it in, and Cahill headed in the back of the net, and we won 1-0. And we basically did that for an entire season and got to 4th place, which was just incredible. Everton legend, I think he played like 200 games and scored like 50 goals from centre mid, which is an absolutely astounding record, and 99 heading and 99 jumping and all the good stuff like that he used to have on FIFA. He was a brilliant player on FIFA as well. But for £1.5 million, he is considered, and in my opinion, he's an Everton legend. But everyone else also seems to agree with me that this guy is an absolute bargain at £1.5 million and one of the best bargain buys of David Moyes' career and just the Premier League in general. Coming in at striker, we have got Robin van Persie, who I couldn't believe that this was true, to be perfectly honest with you guys. 2.75 million Arsenal paid to buy Robin van Persie. Just words can't explain how good of a striker he is, and to get him for that, you couldn't buy this guy now, and he's like 33, for 27.5. You'd be lucky to get him for that because he's still absolutely incredible. And this was years ago when he was just coming into his prime, of course, when he's playing for Arsenal. What an incredible player and what an incredible buy by Arsene Wenger. Everyone shouts for Wenger out, but you cannot argue when he's made signings like that he is an incredible manager. 2.75 million for one of the best strikers in the BPL at the moment. And then next to him, we have got another Arsene Wenger gem. He paid 11 million for Thierry Henry, who is basically the best striker ever to grace the Premier League. If you ask any Premier League defender that cliched question of who is the best striker you've played against, they will all say Thierry Henry, and he bought him for £11 million. What an absolute fucking hero. As well, lads, I'm actually doing a series on him, so if you want to go and watch some Thierry Henry's Road to Retirement, make sure you go and check that out on my channel or down in the description. But for now, that is where we're going to leave this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Like I said, if you have, make sure you smash a like, put it down in the comment section, any other bargain buys that I have missed, and any flops that were meant to be absolutely incredible. And I will get round to making that squad. We can all suggest some players together. But for now, that is where we're going to leave it, lads. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you are new, and I will see you next time.